Gavin.
Gavin's not gonna make it, just told him a minute ago.
Gavin's not coming.
No, he's not coming.
Okay.
Okay. So Emily, I guess you're up. You start.
If I come up.
Please.
And
Yes.
before we start with Emily, no, go ahead, come on.
Okay.
I'm just, if we'll put that bid together tonight.
I have it on my updates we can talk about. Yes, we should.
Right, it's due before the next meeting though.
Before the next meeting,
Right,
but I have
so-
not put it together yet, and I do have a
Right, so,
spreadsheet that
so we need an executive session to go talk about the bid.
we can do that. Yeah.
So do we
Which
need to
means
amend
that
that?
before we start, you need to revise the agenda to include an executive session.
To discuss contracts. And where on the agenda would you like that?
Just so we can get it done before the deadline.
So.
So
are
we
you
make a
ready
motion to make do executive session for property.
to talk, to discuss contracts? Okay. And second,
Yep.
where would you like that on the agenda?
I think you do it towards the end, right? With the other one.
Toward the end, okay.
There's an executive session there anyways.
Mhm. Yeah,
They have to have it specific or something.
Yes, new law,
yeah.
but on the agenda, the executive session has to be specific.
To
And if
discuss.
it's not, then it has to be amended with the agenda at the beginning of the meeting.
So we're good? So
Emily is good.
can speak? Yeah.
Okay, thank
Forever
you.
hold your
Yeah.
peace.
No worries. I'm a big open meeting law proponent, so got to get that sorted. Great, so I came today to provide an update on the bylaw project that we've been working with the Planning Commission on. So we're nearing the sort of end of the project now. Started last June. Looking at how the bylaws lined up with the town plan with a real focus on the impacts of into the rural areas of the town and on protecting agricultural lands. We developed an initial comparison of the zoning bylaws and town plan and an analysis of the development constraints. And then from about August to November, the Planning Commission was reviewing a variety of zoning tools, looking at density development, resource protection, subdivision layout. In February, we held a public meeting, and then we also presented at the March, right after town meeting day in March, and also collected survey responses. The results that we got back were there was really a lot of conflicting opinions. Some people didn't want any change. Some people wanted larger lot sizes and 3 to 10 acres, that generally citing aesthetics and the desire to avoid potential conflicts between agriculture and residential uses, whereas others supported the clustering of development so that you could conserve larger portions of farmland. Kind of with all of that conflicting public opinion, the Planning Commission decided against looking at changes specific to the density and lot size. But instead focused on changes that clarified some of the existing and changed a few of the things with the existing agricultural resources, protection for agricultural resources. Unless I don't know if you have anything else you want to add on the outreach part.
Not really.
Yeah. So I think the biggest change is the standards that previously applied to farmland and prime and statewide agricultural soils for all subdivisions and conditional uses, with the goal of preventing the fragmentation of that farmland. The Planning Commission felt like that standard should only apply to major subdivisions. After a lot of conversation, there was a lot of discussion about, farmers needing to subdivide off a lot for a family member or to sell, to cover some financial costs. And with applications that the Planning Commission was seeing, it was difficult in a 2-lot subdivision to make those changes. So instead now that standard, in the proposed language, that standard would only apply to major subdivisions, which is 3 lots or more. And then to make sure you can't just keep doing minor subdivisions, there's a new standard within the subdivision section that says that multiple 2-lot subdivisions within the same 5-year period would be considered a major. It's like if you applied for a 2-lot subdivision and then the next year you come back for another one, now it's being treated as a major subdivision. And then additional language was added in 8.5 to also clarify the intent of the standards, more clearly define what fragmentation means, and clarify that there's a preference for existing farmed lands over prime and statewide agricultural soils where those two don't line up. So it's not always that the land that's currently being farmed is the same land that shows as prime and statewide soils. So there was a feeling that the existing land that is farmed should be prioritized, and that better met the town's goals. And then also some other smaller changes to generally support housing. We're looking at allowing 2 accessory dwelling units per lot, and that matches with what's allowed now for farm worker housing. Looking at a waiver for dimensional standards, so for example for setback standards for abandoned buildings and foundations. So where there were existing homes but they were abandoned, so they're no longer and they're no longer in compliance with the zoning, you could rebuild that structure, renovate it without with approval as a waiver. And then also just a number of changes that relate to the required changes from the Home Act and Act 181. So I included in here just the sections with the major changes, but the whole draft bylaw is up on the project website. So the first part is that waiver review that allows for the dimensional standards to be waived by the Planning Commission, which is also the Zoning Board of Adjustment. In Fairfield, it's one body. And then the next section is page 64 and 65. That's the new definition for subdivisions that clarifies that multiple 2-lot subdivisions within a 5-year period would be considered a major subdivision.
Is the 5-year period aligned with other, like Act 250 or is it?
It's something that 5 years is what I think Act 250 counts in 10-year increments for when Act 250 is eligible, I believe. Like if you subdivide more than.
Right, I'm just saying, the bigger picture is that aligned with other.
Yeah, a lot of, 5 years is a pretty common one for towns that have this type of standard. It's enough time to prevent you just daisy chaining, but not so long that people who just happen to be subdividing kind of irregularly end up falling within it. So it certainly could be adjusted, but. So page 79 here that's the farmland and agricultural soils. So it's split out from the steep slope standards. It used to be in with the steep slope standards, but now the steep slope standards will continue to apply to all subdivisions. And these standards will now only apply to conditional uses in major subdivisions. On page 80, you can see some of the changes, adding a specific up to 200 feet for the vegetative buffer area between existing agricultural uses and residential uses. That's intended to prevent, conflicts where you build a residential neighborhood next to agricultural uses and now suddenly the neighbors are complaining about, typical things, tractors, manure, things like that. This then adding just additional language about what it means to not fragment the land, talking about the continued access to and ongoing management for productive farmland for agricultural use. This comes from a similar bylaw in Underhill, uses this language. And then the piece at the bottom there, which is designed to clarify that the farmland is prioritized over the statewide and prime soils. Because when we looked at that mapping, we realized that those maps don't always line up with the land that's actually being farmed. Yeah, the maps are old and not always accurate to what's actually good land.
Yeah. They were done in the 70s.
Yeah. And then the last 2 pages here is the checklist of the Home Act and Act 181 changes. So these are changes that were made by state statute. They apply regardless of whether you write them into your bylaws or not, so it's just writing them into your bylaws is good for clarity. Some changes in the definition of an ADU. Allowing it to be, it used to be just 30%, now it's 30% or 900 square feet as a minimum, so if you have a smaller home, you can still have an ADU. For the most part, you already allow duplexes in all your districts.
We didn't used to,
Yeah,
just in the village.
yeah, but in 2019, yeah, is when you switched it from the other districts. Some changes to definitions around hotels and emergency shelters, treating those uses more similarly to other state institutions where there's limitations on local bylaws for shelters and hotels used as shelters. Some changes to the interested persons definition that means that you have to have 20. For those who aren't abutters, you need to have 20 instead of 10, essentially. A new standard for accessory on-farm business, which basically clarifies what was previously sort of a gray area in statute of businesses like agro-businesses that are on a farm but are not considered exempt farming, such as both like sale of things that aren't considered agricultural products but are typically sold at a farm stand, and also like recreational events and educational events that happen on farms, farm dinners, those types of things. And some changes to the parking standards related to allowing non-conforming parking spaces to count towards requirements when expanding residential uses. And weirdly enough, defining the exact required size of a parking space as 9 by 18 feet.
Can you clarify,
Yeah.
some of these are X, some of these are checked, and some of these are not? Can you just clarify?
Yeah, so the checked ones were the ones that your bylaw already met, and then the ones that weren't checked were the changes that
They
had to
must
be
be
made.
Okay.
Yeah, so then the notes that summarizes the changes basically to be made to each, to meet the standards. So some of them you are already meeting.
Gotcha, thank you.
Yep.
What's the definition of a social event?
So it's any event that features agricultural practices or qualifying products. Qualifying products are agricultural products or both.
Yeah,
So like,
it's just, I've had
yeah,
questions about, like if you had a wedding in a farm and you gave out some maple syrup, was that,
yeah, it's a wedding venues are probably the biggest sort of continued gray area. Like if there's no connection to the farm, like it's just a wedding venue and it's outside catering and whatnot, that's definitely not an accessory on-farm business. Where it gets a little bit more murky is like if they're catering it, for example, with their farm's products.
sure,
It hasn't been totally cleared up yet.
yeah,
Um,
okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Any questions overall on the proposed changes or the direction that this project has gone in?
Is there a definition for you were talking about farmed versus
Yes,
farm soils?
yes, so there is, we're added a definition of farmland. We use the same definition that the state uses for current use, except we didn't include an acreage minimum. So farmland, basically, it does include, maple sugar stands and then also, you know, everything you would think of as farmed lands, basically, hay, crops. And then, the prime and statewide agricultural soils are mapped at the state level. And we did add a standard to make sure that when people come in for a subdivision, that they actually provide that information to the planning commission. So that was another clarity change we made. Is to put that explicitly on the list of things they have to provide And then also included an optional that the planning commission can require them to actually have submit a report explaining how their project meets the standards, so that if there's some question about why things are placed in a set way, the planning commission can require that information of the applicant. And it's all written out that can happen, so the applicant's aware.
When do these come into effect?
So I'm going to be meeting with the planning commission again in August, and then I think from there, we'll probably move to the planning commission hearing in September, and a select board hearing after that in either late September or October.
That would be voted on by the public or just?
Just by the select board.
And just,
Just you.
Just me, no.
Just you, yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, but it's select board, yeah, there's no,
Use the gavel if you want.
and we've had good public attendance throughout the meetings across the project, as well as through the public outreach that we did. I think we had about 20 people plus another.
Yeah, but you're probably not getting that diversified
Yes,
group of
yep,
people. You're getting the same people. That's not a true
yeah,
outlook to the town. Yeah, because you always get that same group of people.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did send out a postcard at one point. We did do the after town meeting day and try to get make sure people were aware.
But yeah, we still,
Yeah.
still all the same.
It's all the same, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard.
I don't know how you reach out to the others, but
Yeah,
you
Well, we
got,
did a mailing to everyone.
yeah, we did do a mailing.
Got nothing, so.
yeah.
Yeah, we did our best to make sure that people at least were aware of it. I do think it's pretty technical edits, so a lot of people, we got kind of back like, I don't know, which is understandable. Like I said, we did get a lot of different feedback from the public. There wasn't one clear direction, which is, I think, kind of why the planning commission decided against changing the density or lot size.
Melissa, what's the planning board? They're good with it?
Most of them. We had a little debate about whether or not to include the smaller lot subdivisions in, to still do the ag thing, and it went 6-1, so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Yep.
Very good.
Any
Thank
other
you.
questions?
Any other questions?
Thanks for your
I got absorbed, I'm shaking my head nodding, but
Yes.
I am gonna do a little more reading.
Absolutely.
And kind of simulate. It was a great briefing, but,
Mm-hmm.
and I appreciate the detail.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, and there's a copy if you want the full. I didn't want to print the 6 more copies of the full bylaw out to this, but there is copies of the full bylaw on our website. If you want a mailed copy, I can get that to you too.
I got that, thanks.
Good, thanks, Emily.
Nice job.
thank you.
See you on Monday, right?
Not. Yes, this one. Yes.
Okay,
Next one.
good.
Morris?
What is that project we're starting? What program they call
Grants
it?
and Aid project.
Grants and Aid
Yeah.
project. Yeah. We're starting that tomorrow on Lapland Road.
Yeah.
We're starting tomorrow. Been doing a little ditching up on Duffy Hill there. Magnum been doing the digging and they're donating. We just hauling material.
Who's donating?
They're digging the ditch and they ain't charging the town.
Who?
Magnums, Brothers,
Do we want to say that?
trying to think. And today, this afternoon, Kathy, on the school plowing or bidding, and they got a new way of doing it now. You know, you guys,
Yeah, I see
Yeah,
that.
you saw that?
Yeah.
So we'll go into executive session on that, but do we want to move it up in the agenda so that
should
Mo
do it now
can be
when
here?
Mo's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fine. You think that's fine?
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's Mo's here, we need him to.
I don't think anyone's
It's on the agenda.
gonna complain
Yeah.
if we shift we didn't adopt the agenda as amended, so.
Okay.
Can be adopted.
It could be, it could be amended now and then adopted, and then you're going by the rule of the law, if you would like to do that. So make a motion to amend the order of the agenda.
Do you have anything else, Mo?
No,
Lapland project, you're good, you've got all,
yeah,
whatever you need, you know,
yeah, what we're doing
whatever
up
you
there.
need.
The pre-approval scoping is finished.
Gonna pave in August, September?
I ain't, probably it's September, before then, I ain't heard nothing from Ireland yet.
Any word on the truck?
No,
Regarding.
they located dump yet, we're gonna call them today, we didn't.
Regarding the grader, we didn't have to tap into our equipment fund at this time. I was able to catch up with the field guy who did the estimate. He said that no deposits required. They're out 3 to 4 months at this point for graders, and he said that the invoice will take place then. So we don't have to, we can still earn money on our, earn interest on our CD for a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but it matures right off, right?
What was that?
It matures right off?
It matures monthly.
Okay, I thought that one was a 3
Yeah.
or 6 months.
No, it's a monthly.
Okay, make a motion, we go into executive to talk about a bid.
I'll make a, before that, we gotta make a motion to amend,
We're gonna-
I'll make a motion, whatever, to make the amendment to the bylaws,
To the agenda.
or to the agenda.
Somebody second.
So the next thing on our agenda is to open bids for the Berry Wild Road. We,
Hey, before we do that, following up, just with Mo here,
sure,
the Efficiency Vermont, did we get the town garage insurance, insulation resolved, or?
He finally got hold of each other anyways, he's supposed to come and do the test, and I told him 7 to 3 is where doors are.
Okay.
You can get in,
Okay, good.
do what you want,
Yeah,
and
good,
and
good.
do a test.
Very
Yeah, we
good.
did
That's all I.
Last week, when they finally got hold of me.
Thank you, Mo.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yep.
so we have 3 bidders. Eric Persons, Larry Naylor, and Aaron and Amanda Forbes. I believe they're all abutters.
I'm gonna recuse myself. I don't do that.
The Berry Wild is East Fairfield.
East Fairfield?
Yeah,
I'm next to Eric's house.
So it's up on the road.
we've
Gotta
already,
get rid of.
Eric,
Yeah.
Aaron and Amanda, who's the other one?
Aaron and Amanda Forbes.
Naylor. What's Naylor's name?
How do you come up with that?
Ron's got it.
Ron, what's that person's name?
What's that?
What's that person's name that you have?
Larry Naylor?
Larry. Thank you.
so they should have their bid and proof of funds in the envelopes. And we already awarded the bid it's too
Eric
young.
Person, 28001. And there's a letter from the bank upon request, as we requested. So 28001.
And Larry Naylor is 10,000 even. No other information other than it's a bit to property.
Okay, and Aaron and Amanda Forbes, 15,000. High bidder is Eric Persons, 28001. So, if we'll make a motion to accept the high bid.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion, we accept the high bid from Eric Persons, 101 Berry Wide Road, East Fairfield.
Yeah, second, I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And
There,
Dave, and I think Dave's
Yeah,
recused
Abstaining,
or
whatever.
abstaining from the vote.
okay, so, I was speaking with our legal counsel on these properties, and there needs to be a resolution for me to sign specific property deeds. So that means I have a motion for you. They're ready to go as soon as they're signed, basically. Except for Barry Wild, we need to, I'm not sure who wants to make the motion.
Here.
This is similar to what we had to do with the Fairfield Pond property. And we have to, he says that the addresses, it has to be very specific.
Okay, I'm a little curious why it wouldn't be our chair, but I don't think
It can be the chair, that's
Yeah.
completely fine too,
Do you have a preference?
yeah.
Depends when it's gonna be done. I mean, if it's during the day, it's easier for her to do it.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion, I move the select board adopt the following resolution to hereby authorize, and I'll give you this, Melissa, hereby authorize the town administrator Kathy Ainsworth to sign the deeds for the following properties on behalf of the town of Fairfield. Parcel 062-1175-000, 1175 Romond Road, Fairfield. Parcel, I'll give you all this, Melissa. 073-169-000, 169 Sherman Street, Fairfield. Parcel P13-027000, 277 Bear White Road. Parcel S1-4142000, 4142 North Road. And I'm gonna add the bid that we just took in now.
277 very well.
277 Bear Wide, and then the parcel number is,
Is it not on there?
no. Oh, maybe, yeah, I'm sorry, it does say, I'm sorry, it does say. So those are 4 parcels. That's the motion.
Yeah, I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
That's for Melissa.
Are you recusing from that too, David, or no?
Sure,
Yes or no?
yes.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Well, so far so good. We got a butters stepping up,
Yeah.
you know,
All four.
no anxiety on permitting. These are clean, good for the town, good for the, it's good,
No, that's good.
really good. Nice job, Kathy.
Thank you. Is it, I don't have an agenda. What does it say for Linda? Is Linda next? She's not here. She
Yeah,
said,
she's next, but
just
Town
let,
clerk.
yeah, just let you know that, we'll be setting the tax rate at one of our upcoming meetings.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes as discussed, a little bit of dialogue on the minutes for 14 July.
I'll second that.
Any other comments or questions? You're amending them or just?
No, just acknowledging that there was, the process worked and,
Yeah, I've got a plan to solve that problem.
yeah.
I'll send it to one of them at a time.
Yeah, there was a volley issue.
For what problem?
So I sent minutes to both Linda and Kathy for them to review because they both spoke. And Linda corrected hers, like what she didn't like what I'd written, so she corrected it. And then Kathy corrected hers, but not on the same piece of paper, so to speak, as Linda did. So Linda got pissed off because she thought we were changing her words after she said what she wanted it to say. So I'll just send it to Linda first, and then once Linda makes a correction, I'll send it to Kathy, and I'll
Nice.
solve the problem.
Nice, nice,
Easy fix.
good.
Easy fix.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So, I'd start off with saying that we received $14,189 from the IRS for the excise tax reimbursement for 2022, 23, and 24.
Oh, that's good.
That's good.
There they are, copies of the checks, very excited. Thanks for, I appreciated, actually, thanks to Amanda, I appreciated her help with that. It was my first time around on that one, so. The tax anticipation loan, Amanda and I are anticipating to be needed after the next AP. In our next AP, we have our final 2023 payment to 2023 truck loan payment.
Yeah.
As well as construction work that's being done right now, so. The current rate for those, he's quoted me for 2% for the tax anticipation loans this year. Let's see. I completed the VLCT compensation and benefits survey. Danielle, who is an assistant planner at NRPC, requested that Fairfield be part of a focus group session that they're mandated to do by the state, evaluating rural technical assistance. And I can go, it's tomorrow at 10 a.m., but it can be any of us. So I just wanted to put that out there if you all have an interest. I have information about it if you're interested in learning more. It's to provide a comprehensive analysis of Vermont's current technical assistant providers against models from other states. And their goal is to engage at least 50% of municipalities.
Where is it?
It's at the City Hall.
That's the VERTA focus group?
That's correct.
Didn't you get an invitation?
Probably.
Yeah. I think everyone, yeah. Okay, good.
Let's see. Insurance, the senior underwriter, Kelly, is available for our next board meeting to talk with the select board. We have an update to the hazard list, this hazard mitigation list. So we're over 50% of our improvements. So that means we qualify for grants this year. And I brought the report with the checked off items. I don't know the direction the select board wants to go in terms of the other items, if we want to tackle any more this year. Just curious if you are interested in keeping on with this. We had decided that the common school in Chester's improvements were not priorities, but there are some low-hanging things that we could probably, if we wanted to, it's up to you.
think if you're gonna do it, you need to be specific about who's gonna do it. Is it gonna be Mo or is it gonna be us? And,
Right.
You wanna review it like at the next meeting or this
yeah,
meeting?
let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just put it on the agenda
as a review for what's left,
to see what we can.
and this is above and beyond, so it's not necessary,
Yeah.
you know, so it's really up to you.
You know, how much money is left depending on where it's going or what you're doing
Yeah.
to see what's left.
Yeah.
We're pretty tight budget right now.
Next meeting, take 10 minutes, walk through the list, prioritize if we want to, what we need to, and
Yeah.
move on.
So I did follow up with Kelly, also the insurance underwriter, to ask more about the workers' comp process, audit process. So we had those 3 who didn't have insurance certificates, but they did not request workers' comp and were added to our workers' comp policy because they didn't have both of those documents. And she said that on their end, they look at the amount of hours that a person is doing a specific whatever. They have different categories, so handcrafters are in different categories than construction laborers and people, you know, so they have different categories. They look at what they did and so how many hours and the potential risk or hazard if they were doing that without insurance. And basically, she did quick math and said that the increase to our insurance shouldn't be more than $50. So it's just a much more complicated process. And she can talk you through it too, but yeah, so behind the scenes, they're just doing a lot more investigative and comprehensive work. So
is it easier to get those people up? You know, make them furnish the right papers when they apply?
So here's a good example. If you have a person who's doing felting for like 5 hours at the library,
Doing what?
felting, like knitting at the library, so they're one of the contractors that they requested information on. And just like any audit, they ask you to pull information, so it's not like everybody is just some people, whoever we contracted with. So when that person gets paid, they don't get paid more than a few, if that, $100, you know, a few $100. But a cost of a certificate of insurance for liability is like $400 for a sole proprietor in a year. So it doesn't make sense for them to have, I don't think that they would go for it. We had talked in the last meeting about if we wanted the library to pay for workman's comp insurance. They haven't historically in Fairfield paid for workman's comp. So that's a question. Do we want them to pay for their portion of workers'
I
comp?
would say if it's all their venues, I would make them pay part of it. So.
Problem is, it applies to everything. If somebody wants to work for an hour on the dugouts over here, it's,
No, I know that, but I'm just saying that maybe majority of them are coming from that direction.
Right.
And just, I've always, still ends up the same out of the same pocket because
right, but at least it goes through there.
yeah, their budget, just to make it look it's evenly spaced.
So that's a question for the select board to discuss.
And we can ask that lady, yeah, they say around $50, but then it ends up being 1,000 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, it's,
They just said, yeah, but,
we'll go over it with her. See what they say.
So the good news though is, in terms of workers' comp, there is that one form that you approved for all of the contractors to sign, the non-employee work agreement. We did get everybody to sign those. So, it is one more thing and it's one more signature and it's, nobody likes to do one more thing, especially if they just want to do a job for us. But I think that at the end of of the audit, it made a difference, so,
Makes it one less liability for us, right?
right,
Right, yeah.
right.
That's the world we live in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, next week's, another insurance thing. VLCT has an on-site property appraiser coming at 10 a.m. and he needs an escort. I'm not sure if anybody wants to do that, but I can do that if you don't. I just need to contact the kind of the custodians or the people who are usually in those buildings and let them know.
What day is it?
It's Monday. He'll be here at 10 a.m.
And you can do it, Kathy?
I'm available to do it, yeah. It's a walk around. They did this before, just as a first, before we even, I think it was within the first 3 months we had to do this as well. I'm not sure, a good question for Kelly next week would be to how often do we have to do this? Because it seems like.
Yeah.
I got a year or so. They do it with farm builders, same.
Oh, they do.
You know,
Okay. So, no, there are no takers?
We'll take it over here.
Okay, I'm on it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm out of town.
That's okay. Speaking of out of town, I'm moving my daughter out of state next month. I'll be off Friday, August 15th to Wednesday, August 20th.
Okay.
I'll still be able to be at the select board meetings and I don't think it'll be any problem. Not next week, but the week after, the town clerk's office is closed for a week.
Yeah.
So Friends of Northern Lake Champlain will be presenting to us on August 25th. They were available that day. And I have done some legwork on the pond road move. So I wanted to just give you what has happened. And I'd like to propose that we write a grant if we can. So,
What's happened tonight over there, huh?
so I talked to Amanda, let's see, Dean Pierce at NRPC, who's the Clean Water Service Provider, Kyle at NRPC, and Friends of Northern Lake Champlain. And they're all suggesting a similar thing, which is the town move forward with drafting an RFP for a scoping consultant, and directly invite firms that focus on road projects with an expertise in pedestrian safety and wetlands permitting. And regarding the role of Friends of Northern Lake Champlain, because they did that comprehensive, she'll be presenting it, but a comprehensive project list. They said that because this is really focused on a road and not a runoff or erosion issue, they would be willing to partner with the project and write letters of support, but not necessarily be the prime for a grant. There is a grant due in September or December. It's open in September. And it can provide funding for a scoping project with a 20% match. And Dean Pierce thinks that the study of this project might be expensive, so we should be cautious of what we're looking forward to doing. And according to Amanda, there were some questions also about the wetlands. So there's a wetlands portion of land that's in the land trust just on the other side of the beach. And apparently when I guess you were on the planning group, there was discussion at the time, I think 2014, about pushing it even farther over, but just to pay for the rights to do that was like $150,000 at that time. It was excessive, so that's why it didn't happen then. So it's just another thing to go in with eyes wide open. Just one of those numbers that we should keep in mind.
So do we have a scoping project from 2014?
Yeah.
And FNLC is coming in to talk about moving the road over, what they could help with.
Say that again?
The Friends are coming in to talk about moving the road over?
No, they don't want to support that. They'll support it with letters of interest, support, I mean, but
But they, this is kind of getting a little,
I know.
I mean, so
It's a
they had a proposal to mitigate the runoff from that field, right there, that wetland.
right.
So we could say, okay, do that. And then let them, you know what I mean? I'm kind
Yeah,
of
it
seeing
doesn't-
like they're backing away saying, well, if you're gonna move the road, say, no, you do because what I remember, and I know you met with them this week, is,
Right.
but I think they scored 3 projects and dealing with the runoff in that area was on their top 3.
Right. It
And
is.
they thought they could get that funded.
Right.
We should say, we shouldn't get in there and muddle, if, we should go into the August meeting with them and say, what projects are you gonna fund? And this was one of the top 3, right?
Right, the beach, and then there's actually another one, they were gonna put a wetlands barrier on the wetlands side of it, so there were actually 3 on the beach.
It might be
and one
interesting just to
side.
say, hey, go forward, then,
Just forget about,
well, not forget about,
Yeah.
but roll that, not muddy the water here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay,
Well, I think I would look at it the other way, say, don't go work on a project there if we're gonna consider moving the road over, because we're gonna move right on top of whatever they do.
that's basically what they were saying,
That's what I'm saying, because if you move the road once, you're gonna
change the
figure,
erosion.
fill that all in.
Right.
Yeah, but
Seems
what
like-
are the, I don't know, what's the likelihood? What was the conclusion that you drew in 24?
Well, I think it was like a no-go, you just couldn't do it, so,
Right, I guess before I spent 50 grand on somebody telling me I can't do it,
yeah,
I think we could do some homework and do some pushing, and it's either a yes or a no, I mean,
yeah.
but somebody's gonna get killed up there, and then we'll move the road without asking, because it was busy tonight, there's kids
Oh, yeah.
behind vehicles, it's,
So-
It's sad. There's a safety issue there. And
Like
The
I
benefit-
say,
here we sit debating that.
That's the thing now,
Why they stop another 10 feet of that road over. I don't know.
I hope the
Glad I
people
don't
in
work
charge
in
of
that
wetlands
position.
know it, because
Yeah.
that's what's gonna happen, it's
that's what I'm
Because it
saying
could be a
now.
simple project, it's
Yeah.
complicated.
150,000 should be done, there should be no BS.
Yeah.
This is all ridiculous.
Yeah,
Just put some coarse stones on the bottom and then
Yeah.
move it over 10 feet.
Yeah.
How much, what's the difference between there and the other side? 20 feet? Or is it farther than that till you get to the edge of the meadow or?
It's farther than that,
Oh, a lot,
yeah.
lot further.
There's plenty of room, but
No, but I just didn't know what the,
The linear, so I have the file in my office, and I pulled all the minutes and reviewed them, and it looks like the select board at the time of this project pushed it as far as they could.
yeah,
And if they pushed it any further, they were gonna have to pay to, I don't even know if it's the land trust or if it's who it is, but they would have to pay for the rights of 20 more feet in the amount of a large sum. So that was the problem. It was that we've already used, I mean, it's right up to the edge at this point. And a scoping study would provide 3 alternatives, and if we put an RFP and it out to just tell us like what might, I mean, it might just be like a road bump, and a mirror, and who knows? Somebody was saying that In South Hero, they put a green space behind the
Yeah, but we don't, that's
cars.
the point, we don't
You
have
know.
any, and if we can't move, we don't have the real estate, so. We're gonna talk about the same thing we talked about in 2014 and.
Yeah.
Who owns the other side?
The town owns a pretty good section.
Yeah,
Shane, my son Shane, he owns to the tree line, and the town owns the rest of it to Ubbets, so.
yeah.
And back toward Damien's, that's quite a ways back, so.
So technically the space in between those
Oh, there's
things is
plenty,
mostly
there's plenty of
town.
room.
Yes,
Have to move a telephone pole.
yeah,
It could be a simple
Yeah.
project.
Yeah, well, that's why I didn't know whose land we had to,
Yeah.
you know, who we were
No,
fixing.
no.
Yeah, I think what they're saying is it's a wetland, so in order, you have to mitigate. If you can fill in a wetland, but you have to mitigate, you have to
Right.
pay to do that.
Yeah, you pay for the rights to do that.
Wow, or you give them something else.
Give them something else. Yeah, that's what I was wondering, like, what do we have in the town?
Just sell anything that have wetland on it.
Did they want the comments?
Well, and I also wonder is I'm sitting here just talking about, when you said simple solution, I mean, we could have make a red light during 3 months in the summer on an evening, you know, make it. I know, I just.
5 times a day.
I know, I just, you know, I just say,
And
you could
it's-
make it one-way traffic, you know, you could just say it's gonna red light, green light or something, I don't know.
A simple scoping study that removes all wetlands, doesn't actually move the road, but calls for the solution of pedestrian danger, could come up with, would be much less expensive. It would only be focused on one of the three big issues, which is roads, wetlands, and pedestrians. And then it wouldn't cost as much. Once we get the bids in, we find out if we wanna go with them. And then we're not just saying, let's put this, that there, you know, I mean, people could tell us what to do. And there are options that make most sense. I mean,
Yeah, I guess I was for, like, if what you're saying there was grants, I was saying, yeah, if there's some grants available to do that. But then when I heard danger, you know, it could be expensive, I was thinking, what are we signing up for?
I mean,
yeah,
it's
no,
$10,000 to relearn what we learned in
Yeah.
2014.
yeah.
Grants aren't always,
Yeah, I mean, if there's an elegant solution that we could get, you know, for this activity, I'd say let's do it, but
Would you like me to reach out to a specific?
you supposed to meet with Flynn, or what was that?
yeah.
Yeah.
When
do
he
you have anything? Yeah.
met,
Well, he was interested, he didn't, yeah, we could have a follow-up.
if he
with-
could know the right people to talk to do that, it should
He
be-
saw it, we talked about it,
You
we
did,
said,
good.
yeah, we looked at it and we said, hey, it was the first place we met. We met right there and we said, as you can see, Joe, he parked his truck right there, we sat right there, he said, as you can see, there's heavy utilization. It was a Friday afternoon, you know, it was hopping. And I
Let's say,
said,
hey, let's reach out to him and say, listen, we've done this for the last 12, 15 years, talked about this, it's
Yeah.
dangerous. We need a determination, can we or can we not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Move
think it's
20
getting
feet.
worse.
Right, but we might as well go to the top and get a determination. Will the state let us go into the wetland?
okay, I'll tell you what, I'll volunteer.
That would be-
I'm not gonna do that site visit, so I'll follow up with Joe, Secretary Flynn.
Okay.
And I'll say, I didn't know that, 2024, and then, you know, I'm sure he knows all about wetlands and mitigation. And you help me draft a memo that incorporates all the knowledge that you had. And we'll say, we're at a crossroads and the board feels a obligation for public safety and we got a real bad feeling, or something like that, you know? And we understand the need for a wetland, but, you know, this is not getting better, right?
Right.
And I think it's getting, I think it's worse now than it ever has been. I think there's more
Oh, there's
utilization.
way more uses.
Especially since we fixed it up and,
Yeah.
Ron keeps it all nice and clean.
In the 19 years that I've lived over there, usage has tripled at least.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
It's a clean pond, that's
It's
why
clean,
people come to,
Yeah.
you know,
Blame it on COVID, get some more money out of that.
Well, you know, I tell you, I did think, you know, and I don't want this to go on in the airways, but when they're closing all the beaches in Burlington, you know, there's
Yeah.
Fairfield Pond, I'm going. Anyways,
Yep.
yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
We'll co-draft a memo and,
You know, see if there's a little trade-off.
sure.
Whatever we can do to get the road safely moved
And
and,
it's really a simple solution. If
It
you're
is.
just going 10 feet into that swampy
Yeah.
area, you got it covered.
yeah,
Yeah, just
Because you
combine.
you could move it now 10 feet,
yeah.
so.
I mean, all you gotta do is just move the wetland back, you know,
Yeah.
north a little farther, that's all.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting thought. If it's town land, we have, Jeff Corey knows all about, you know, creating wetlands. That, you know, there could be a self-help,
Yeah.
you know.
No, we have the
instead of-
tools in town and contractors that work for us. It's
Yeah,
not-
Jeff Corey makes
Well, you could-
wetlands. He
yeah.
knows.
Well,
We
and
could,
then there's that mitigation piece where we have real estate on the pond now too, so there might be something
Yeah, true.
there that we could.
I'll put an easement on the outlet, and the fauna and flora and crap over there will never develop it. There you
Yeah,
go, swamp
yeah,
it.
there you go. Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean, wetland, you could just push it back 10, 15 feet, you still got the wetland
Yeah.
and you got the road to make it safety for the people of the
Yeah,
use.
You could do that in a week, easy.
Oh, easy.
So the other option the other thing that I could do is just do more research on wetlands and who's in charge of,
Go to Joe, he'll know which
Okay.
department head to go
Right.
talk to.
okay, sounds good.
Start there.
Mhm.
Start at the top. That's why we try to meet with these people, and
Yeah.
have a cut dialogue.
Okay, thank you. Where are we?
You have an interview for what time?
What time is it now?
8:12.
Oh, no. No, sorry. Yeah, 8:12. We have,
tell me it was 8.
there was an 8 and 8:15. The 8 o'clock is
Yeah,
here.
we should do that now.
Yeah, we can do that.
have you finished your stuff?
No, there are a couple other things, but it's the common school ethics. I need to do an ethics update with you guys. And the hazard mitigation plan.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Seymour,
Thank you.
I make a motion, we go into executive, or we're gonna do this in public.
No, it's an interview, we'll do it.
Okay, I make a motion, we will enter into executive session for a personnel issue.
So, I do have, so ethics, as the ethics liaison, Joe Farnham reached out to me, and says that because of the changes to the municipal ethics administration process in the state of Vermont, we are also required to have an ethics policy or have the ethics part of what we do in our policies. So I have brought just a copy of the chapter about municipal ethics in the state of Vermont for you. You don't have to do anything today. I was thinking, basically, the things that we don't have in our, what's it called?
Policy manual?
No, conflict of interest. You can do conflict of interest and ethics. A lot of it is covered in our conflict of interest, but there are whole sections that aren't. So if we merge the language, we should be covered. So what I was thinking is merging this with our conflict of interest and showing you a draft at our next meeting, if that's okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's that, I don't know if it's that simple if you're updating our current based on the new Vermont statute, because the whole conflict of interest has changed significantly.
Or we can just do, basically this. I can bring this as a,
I mean, this is the new law.
this is the municipal code of ethics. So this is what the municipality.
Okay, so what are you proposing at the next meeting? Do you want to
I can-
add this to our current?
Why don't we just say we adopt the most current municipal code of ethics? just put that in our policy, it refers to this. And
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and
You
I'll
wanna
bring
make
it
that
to-
motion?
I'll bring it to sign next time.
Okay,
we don't need to go crazy and they'll change this in 6 months, so.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's changed a lot.
It has, and one of the things that I told you we needed to do before the end of September is all of the municipal leaders in Fairfield needed to attend a mandatory ethics training. 18 out of 23 have done that at this point. We have some select board members, one department head, and one library trustee. I think part of it is that there might be a technological bridge to get over. And I'm happy to make appointments here if we need to do that. It's online, so.
Is that mandatory?
It's mandatory, a mandatory ethics training, it's online, a copy of
I took
the
it.
actual thing
Yeah, I
goes to the
did.
state.
It's not a class, right? It's just a video you watch.
No, you have
You gotta
3
answer
questions at the
questions.
end.
Right, but it's not, offered
Not a
the
class.
first Wednesday
Yeah,
of the seventh
no,
month.
you do it
No, you
online.
can just do it online.
I'll talk to Mo and I'll get him through it.
Okay,
Just go.
Oh, nice, thank you,
that
Dave.
would be great, thank you.
I
You do
haven't,
what?
I haven't done it either. I haven't just.
What'd you say you were gonna do?
Talk to Mo, he's
Oh.
gonna get me
Have
to
you
it.
done it?
No,
No.
I'm not a computer person.
We'll schedule a time where the 3 of us can go look at the flat screen over there.
And then there's one other select board
Who
member,
else?
Gavin.
Oh, yeah, so just pick a
Yeah.
time with a.
So there are, once you take those 3 questions, they send a confirmation to the state and to me, with your name and that you've done it. And then I put it in a file.
What's the time, how long does it take?
Oh, it's in 45 minutes tops, like 40 minutes. I mean, it really doesn't take long.
Depends how many questions you get wrong, you have to go back and answer it.
Yeah, you don't have to watch the whole thing again in order to take the
It
question.
could take a little while.
It can, you have to remember what you saw.
I forgot which question I kept getting wrong. There was one I kept getting wrong in, but
I
Yeah.
was wondering.
What else you got?
Oh, sorry, excuse me, thank you, yes, so, the common school met, we'll give you an update later, but there is an RFP for, restoration, not restoration, but there is an RFP out and posted for architectural planning services, which is in line with their, grant, and they're handing out flyers at the Jig in the Valley to engage people in the process. And there is another, I'm just bringing this up because it was brought up to me again, that our hazard mitigation plan is expired. When I brought it up last time, the select board was concerned that FEMA was sort of on the rocks and we didn't have a grant option. But if we don't if we don't update it, renew it, then if there is a disaster, we cannot receive FEMA funding and there are grants that we can't apply to. So this is just a notice to you. It costs $9,000 through NRPC to do all of the steps that are required. And there are other contractors out there that we could utilize as well. So I encourage you to consider.
So we're
doing
gonna
it.
have to spend $9,000 to update our hazmat.
Hazard mitigation plan, yep, it's.
I mean, what is
Yeah.
it?
There's a committee
It's a
process, there are some meetings that are required, there's paperwork, some of the details through the federal government are complicated.
But is that the selling point of these contractors, or can we adopt the plan we have?
Yeah, you can't adopt it unless you go through, there needs to be a committee made up of town managers, administrators, zoning administrators, blah, blah, blah. And it requires 1 year of multiple meetings, and then there are 4 months of reviewing plans that take place. I've been told that a lot of people do this like the hour before select board meetings. So, anyway, it's not something that I'm.
Send me that, email me for the board, send it to me and I'd like
Send it
to.
to me too.
Sure.
Yeah, okay, Dave and I will at least review it before, so When does that expire?
So I brought it to your attention in March, I think, or early April, and it expired July 1st.
Okay.
It has.
For next spring, we'll have to, for spring flooding, we'll have to have it. Okay.
No, it's already expired, right?
Yeah.
Just first of
I
July.
thought it was in December, but it's on a federal calendar.
So it's already expired.
Yeah.
So every town is gonna spend $9,000 to upgrade their hazmat plan. How long is it good for?
I think, I can't remember. I'll have
Like
to look.
5 years?
5, maybe 7 years. It's very similar to your town plan process.
And you make sure how people burn out, they go, you know.
I know, or yeah, I know.
Anything else?
That's it.
I'm curious, we never did that before.
That's something that I was told everybody does, so
Yeah.
I can
We
look it
never-
up.
We're gonna be careful by who's telling us sometimes, because
Okay.
salesmen like to tell you what you have to do.
Right.
Well, send it,
I'll
Dave
send
and I will review it, and we'll report back.
Okay.
The other quick salesman, we talked about AmCare. I read through their contract. AmCare is cutting back on a lot of their services. And we get another 4% increase this year. The contract doesn't say anything about how much or whatnot. One of the other guys at the fire station drafted a letter. We were thinking of sending it to AmCare, but I think if you guys are okay with it, the fire department and I will go down, meet with a local guy first, because it's run by a company out of Maryland. And just say, listen, we accepted your contract based on historic service levels. And they've gone from staffing, I think it was 4 ambulances to 2, depending on the time periods, but they're a big company, they're doing more transports, they're doing less emergency, it's not the same service.
Who used to own it? Local.
Yeah, it used to be locally owned, but I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, they sold it to that Maryland company. But we should be having a conversation, because
Yeah.
we waited for 2 ambulances from Missisquoi and 1 from Fairfax 2 weeks ago, which is,
Had a car accident or something?
yeah, I had on 5 patients, so.
This one on the corner.
So we should have a conversation with them locally, I think, to start with, and then maybe we send a letter to the headquarters.
See what their time frame or why they're
Yeah.
can't respond. So you called them, or who called? How does that work?
Well, we call AmCare still, and they provide service, but sometimes, if they don't have a rig available, they have to reach out to their mutual aid, which can be Fairfax, Enosburg, and Missisquoi,
Yeah.
which adds time to the clock, so.
Yeah, I would think this region that big with only 2 ambulances, it would be
They're Sheldon,
unavailable.
St. Albans, and Fairfield, it's a big area to cover.
Plus just St. Albans.
Yeah. You get two people that fall down and 2 ODs, and you don't have anybody left, so. But that's all I had, we're done, move on.
I have one thing. There's a guy who wants to do a food truck at the beach. Kathy talked to him.
He may be at the beach, he may be in other places, parking lots, we don't know. We don't know.
Zoning has never permitted food trucks. You guys have always had the discussion here about food trucks. Do you care? Do you want us to, they have to go through the state. I know we have 3, right? Well, this guy's the 3rd, but there's Dawn White in East Fairfield, and zoning never permitted her. She's on her own property. I don't care. And then, what's his name over here? Puts his food truck sometimes by his barn. You know who I'm talking about?
No.
His name has escaped me. The guy who owns the garage in
Tinker.
Tinker. Tinker's son has a food truck. In fact, it exploded last week and Tinker got burned pretty bad. But do you care if someone
Well,
takes...
it's not a matter if we care, is there anything in zoning that,
What zone, there's nothing that specifically talks about food trucks. What Kathy saw was, when she looked at it and thought maybe we needed to permit it, was any use that's not specified is a conditional use and needs to be approved by zoning, but we have never addressed food trucks. You know, like when there's a food truck that goes to the.
I guess my point is
East.
just, we have to get out of the, I don't care. It's what's in zoning. Is there
It's not
anything?
specifically outlined in zoning. We're doing bylaw changes. I could put it in if you want to. Previously, the select board is the one who has said yay or nay to a food truck.
My
I guess
concern
when
would be
you
a liability,
Huh?
town liability. If we approve a food truck there on town property, you know, what's our liability?
I was just wondering where he'd set up, you know, safely.
Yeah, if he's on the beach,
A
man.
kid goes to the food truck, gets run over by a car, who's, you know,
Who's
Yeah, it's making a tight situation tighter. I mean,
Okay.
I don't know,
So the bylaws say specific to conditional use that it has to, could be like, be conducive to the environment that you're in or whatever, something like that.
So it's not really a zoning question of the beach. It's a matter of, do we want to allow somebody to use a commercial operation on town land?
right.
Right, if,
Yeah.
I mean, somebody could set one up here in the front yard.
He was over parking Dimitri's land over there, and, you know, Bolduc's land or something, that's a different story, but
He's mobile, we
Yeah.
have.
if he's gonna park on the beach, I think that's an
liability.
issue.
I
Yeah.
guess that'd be a question to call insurance, just to see what would happen. Then just a phone call.
You could also ask next week, Kelly's coming. Okay.
I make a motion, we review, or we approve the warrants.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye. So make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second that too.
You good?
Snuck it right in there, that was good.